Good morning. So this is Thursday Thrillers, and I am going to share a couple of stories. And so I'll start with the most recent one. So I have a client, and I received a gift from her. She came in and she had something for me that she kind of, after we got settled in and she came in and stuff, she took me to the side and said, I have something for you that I inherited, or something like I ended up with. And so she pulls this thing out, and it's wrapped in cloth, and she opens it up slowly, and it's this large crystal. And it's a white crystal with black things in it, and it's a laser crystal. So it's large. It's probably 5 inches, 4.5, 5 inches long, 3 inches probably in width. So it's a pretty big crystal, and these crystals are quite expensive, actually. So um, I was really surprised by that because it's an expensive type of crystal, and she knows that I have my own collection of crystals, and I think crystals are so personal that you pick crystals because they call to you, when you go shop for them. Um, and so this one just kind of ended up on my doorstep, basically being gifted to me from a client. And if I look back at it now and I'm honest, I actually did have a strange feeling about it even the way that when it was being rolled open, I had a weird feeling, but I couldn't process at that moment because I had two clients, to see. Um, and this was something that was happening that was unexpected, and it was, I had to go right back into the appointment, so I didn't have any time to really process the feelings that I was getting about it. Although the biggest feeling, that was on the top of everything, was gratitude that somebody was, sweet, thinking of me, saw something that they knew that I use, and thought of me when they had something that they just kind of ended up with. I think that's the word she said. Somehow I ended up with this, and I wanted to either give it to you or see if you wanted to give it to somebody else. That was kind of how she said it. And so all these little things were going through my mind, and feeling certain things in a matter of, like, I don't know, it's probably 10, 15 seconds, very quickly. But anyway, so I had these feelings, but then life just got busy and I hadn't really thought about it, other than just being grateful, and I tried to put it in with my other crystals and it wouldn't fit. The lid kept popping off. Um, but I did still have this feeling that even now, I don't really know what the feeling is, unless maybe the feeling is just, I don't know, a sense of it not feeling right. Like something felt off about it. And, just like any antiques or any other thing, that I collect, you have to be careful with the energy or the things that you bring into your home, because they have attachments, they have energy resonance on them, and things that you pre-own, that are pre-owned, or even things that were made by a certain person with a certain energy, or even they had a certain intention that they put in. um, I think you don't even have to think about putting an energy into something. I mean, as an artist, just thinking about it, everything that I am when I'm creating is part of the creation. It's the energetic connection that you have with something that goes into it. And so, with this crystal, I almost feel like, there's something, with who worked on the crystal to make it the way that it was, who owned the crystal before it was passed down, the fact that it was a little secretive. I don't think it was on purpose, but just the way that it was said to me, it was very neutral language so that I couldn't read into anything. And she didn't want the crystal. So I'm just, these are things that I'm thinking of now. I don't think, of course, it was, she did it with love, gave it to me with love, but I'm wondering if there was an energy that she didn't like about it too, and just didn't consciously think about that, but just wanted to pass it on to somebody else who she thought would appreciate it. So, what's interesting is it felt like the anxiety a little bit picked up in the house. And then I got home one time, and my husband told me that he was sitting in our study, which is like our library room where our desk is, and he was in there working, and all of a sudden a clock, an owl clock, which is it's a heavier steampunk clock, um, and it has a pendulum, so it's the tail of the owl swings, but it's a heavier clock, and he was just sitting there working, and it literally threw itself off the wall. Now, I'm using that language on purpose because it wasn't just it fell off the wall, because if it fell off the wall, you would see why it fell, right? Like um maybe the nail wasn't in the wall properly, or you would see signs that the nail had fallen, or it literally came off with the clock on the ground. Um, but it had one of those backings that, I don't know if you like a keyhole, those things where it's like a larger circle at the bottom and then a smaller one at the top. So you literally, when you put it on, you put it into the bigger circle, and then the weight of it pulls it down so it locks it into place. It's like a track. And the nail that I used, and I always use for hanging things on the wall like that, are the flathead nails, because you need a lip on there so that it locks it into place, right? So there's no way that that could have just slipped off and fell. But he was very clear that it didn't just fall off, it threw itself out this way, and then it crashed onto the floor. So when I inspected all of the parts of it, the nail is in a stud. So it's like firmly in there. So there's nothing wrong with that. So I tried to debunk it and check it. I'm like, okay, well, it's not a defaulty nail or that it came loose in the wall, because it's in a stud and it's like secure. So it wasn't that. I looked at the back of the clock to see if there was something faulty or that had broken with the nail insert of the clock. Nothing. It's in one piece. It's perfect, exactly the way that it is. And I don't see how a clock like that again, here's the hole in the back where you insert, okay, this is the clock, and it comes with this little hole on the backing. It's a hole like this with a track like this, and gravity pulls it. So you put the nail into the hole, and then the gravity of the weight of the clock slides down, and it locks it into place with the flathead nail. There's no way that that clock could come off the wall being locked into place on a track on a nail that is in a stud, and that the nail is exactly where it was with no damage, and the clock is completely undamaged in the back. There's no way that that lip of that nail would come loose. There's just no way that that could happen. And my husband, he's a spiritual person too, so he got the sense too that there was something strange about what happened. You can see my little Celia. She's like always part of all the conversations, huh? You say hi? Say hi. Yes. She's my little healer dog. She comes out, well, both of them are, but she will come out when I'm doing healing work, and she'll literally come and sit with the clients and stuff. Um, my husband got the sense that it definitely was thrown off the wall. We try and debunk things, but we live in a house. We live in a house where things happen. I'm a seer, and I've always grown up being able to see things that other people don't see, and talk to dead people. And I've had a lot of interesting stories, and just, gone in and done house cleansing and spoken to the spirits in the homes and stuff. And I do have other videos, Darkness Within, and the one that I did last week, which I'm forgetting the title of, but they're there. But now I'll be titling them Thursday Thrillers. When I put them out. My intention is to put one out every Thursday, so we'll see how this goes. I also do Friday Bliss letters, which are all about encouragement. So, yeah, so it's just very interesting. So I'm gonna go ahead and stop there. I just think that's really interesting. Where's the crystal now? I'm selling it on eBay. I'm trying to sell it on eBay as a haunted mystery crystal. I didn't put any photos of it. I just put the description and the story. I'm going to revert people on there too to this video so they could see it. And I might actually post the photos of it too. I think that might help. But it's a haunted crystal. And basically it comes with a ghost. So that's my story with that. I don't know where exactly it came from. I did email my client and ask her, can you tell me more about this crystal, because it came with a ghost. And I have heard nothing back. So, so we'll figure that one out. But anyway, where's the crystal now? The crystal is outside on my porch. I woke up thinking, should I bury this crystal? But it's like some people love having haunted paraphernalia and stuff. So I want to, it's a beautiful crystal. It just comes with energy, and I don't want to remove that energy from it. I don't know what the story is with it. But there's definitely a male energy. It feels very dominant. And I don't know what else to say about it. It's kind of, yeah, I just don't want it in the house, because I feel the vibrations of other things when they come in. Very sensitive to that. It's not the first time I've gotten, gifted beautiful things that I have. And I have actually, like, I inherited a mirror, which I could do another one on that, on the mirror that in my house. We call it the haunted mirror. I could tell you about that. Maybe I'll do that on my next story. You let me know. Now, so anyway, you can tell me if there's anything in particular that you want to ask me, or questions that you have. I want to say thank you for liking and subscribing and listening to my stories. Again, on Fridays, if you want to follow me on Fridays, I have Friday Bliss letters or videos, and it's always on something positive and encouraging. I am a cognitive behavioral therapist. I'm also an alternative healing therapist, which just means I do a lot of healing work, and I'm a Reiki master teacher. So I do a lot of different things, and you can visit my website at placeofblisssanctuary.com. I do virtual appointments as well, but you can also email me. I have a link called Heal Space, which is just a link for you to not feel alone. If you need to talk to somebody, you can leave me an email. You can also leave me comments down below, and I just wanted to say thank you, and I'm grateful that you've been listening, and I hope that you come back again and again. Okay, bye.